Self-concept. Self-concept is about how we view ourselves. It's a picture that we create from our own subjective reality, and it's made up of certain conditions that we hold as our truths. The aim of this presentation is for you to gain an understanding of the role that self-concept plays in a counselling relationship. The objectives are that you can describe the meaning of self-concept related to counselling, identify the importance of understanding your own self-concept as a counsellor, and recognise the importance of self-concept in the client's journey. As a practitioner, we're advised to gain personal understanding of our own self-concept in order to be fully with the client within their present moment. We also need to study the theory of self-concept to understand the client's journey and identify where they feel that they may have lost their sense of self. Now, if you ask someone who they are, it's likely that they may define themselves in terms of their gender, age, vocation, faith base, their family position, culture, or their beliefs. For example, I might say, well, I'm a white middle-aged male working as a practicing psychotherapist. I'm married with a child, and in my spare time I like going on the internet. Well, that's all good and well if I'm filling out a CV, but is it really a description of my true self-concept? In the early development years, our self-concept tends to be measured in terms of tangibles, such as our eye colour, height, what grade we are in school. As we develop, so does our self-concept, and we begin adopting intrinsic or inner values as part of that self-concept. An example may be a junior school student describing themselves as quite a shy individual. Through the teen years and into adulthood, we add characteristics that we feel relation or affinity to, such as a teenager may choose to refer themselves as a goth. These choices are made and are added to the concept of self as we go through our lives. Concept of self for the counsellor. We see the world not as it is, but as we are. The perceived truths that make up our concept of self define how we see the world. Our concept of self has developed through experiences and interactions with others, and it is the organized set of characteristics that we identify as being unique to us. Any introjected values or conditions of worth that may lie unseen within us will distort how we view the world. As reflective practitioners, we need to be aware that our own truths may well be flawed. We need to be flexible and open to changing our self-concept when new information comes into awareness. Being aware that we see the world not as it is, but as we as individuals are, allows us to be more open to opinions and truths that challenge our own. In short, we're able to value a client and their truths with unconditional positive regard. Concept of self for a client. A client entering counselling may hold truths as part of their self-concept that are damaging, that are causing them pain. An example may be a client who values themselves as quite a high achiever, who has now found that they're in a situation within their own lives where they feel that they just can't cope at this present moment. When this client checks their self-concept, they find a truth that says that they are always able to achieve. And when this is compared with the reality of not being able to cope, it creates a mismatch or an incongruence, and the client feels psychological distress. It's likely that these damaging beliefs will be invisible to the client, out of awareness, and so entwined into their self-concept that if these truths were to be challenged, it's very likely that the client may even defend them. Faulty beliefs can start as what we call introjected values, or values of others that are adopted by the person when they are a child. In the above example, the client may have excelled at school, teachers may have told her she's a very high achiever, and this may have been reinforced by her parents praising her for getting such good grades. She is taking the opinions of others and using them to value herself, and this is called operating from an external locus of evaluation. The result is adoption of a truth that I am a high achiever, And this is valuable. The teachers and the parents have created conditions of worth, meaning the child feels a sense of worth if certain conditions are met. In other words, I am worthy of praise and love when I achieve. When the client is not able to cope, she feels a mismatch or incongruence of what she knows as her truth and that which she experiences in the here and now. Not coping means I'm worthless, based on my truths that I am worthy when I am achieving. The human condition of experiencing incongruence between the self-concept and the actual here and now experience of the individual results in tension, possible confusion, and maladjusted behaviors. This is the result of being subject to conditions of worth and introjected values, leading to functioning from an external locus of evaluation. In therapy, we aim to empower the client to identify and possibly even break down the conditions of worth that have been adopted as truths. This process enables the client to move from an external to an internal locus of evaluation. Understandably, this is a delicate process requiring patience and time from a caring practitioner who understands and recognizes the importance of self-concept both in their own and in the client's journey.